Habakuk, trusting God in uncertain times. Trust God in challenging times. Today we explore the book of Habakuk, a profound yet often overlooked book in Old Testament. Habakuk is not just a prophet, he is a seeker of truth. He questions God over the issues of injustice and suffering in the world. So first thing what we can learn from this book is first Habakkuk starts with prophet's complaint. First chapter, first verse to four verses, we can see Habakkuk begins with a heartfelt complaint. He sees violence, he sees injustice around and suffering in Judah and wonders why God seems silent, why God is silent while all this is happening around. So, what we can learn from here? How do we apply it? It's natural question to God. For us also, we will face these type of questions when we witness injustice or hardship. Habakkuk teaches us that it's okay to express our feelings and doubts to God. God invites us to bring our complaints to Him rather than suppressing them. So we can see the God's response in Habakkuk. Habakkuk, first chapter, 5th verse to 11. God answers Habakkuk by saying, He will raise up the Babylonians to bring judgment. This response shocks Habakkuk as he struggles to understand how God could use a nation known for cruelty. How do we apply this in our life? Sometimes God's plans and methods are beyond our understanding. We may not always see how God is at work in our circumstances, but we must trust in God that He is fulfill the purpose and He has a purpose. Thirdly, call to wait. Habakkuk second chapter first verse to 3. Habakkuk decides to wait for God's response, positioning himself to listen. God tells him to write down the vision and make it plain, assuring him that it will come at the appointed time. How do we imply this in our life? In a fast paced world, waiting is often very difficult. However, waiting on God is a crucial aspect of faith. We need to cultivate patience and allow God to reveal His plans in His timing. Fourth point we can learn is just shall live by faith. Habakkuk second chapter fourth verse. This verse is very important. Just live by faith. Righteous will live by faith. How do we imply this in our life? Faith is not the absence of doubt, but a decision to trust God despite our challenges. As Christians, we are called to live by faith, leaning on God's promises even when the future is challenging, even when the future is unclear. Fifth, we learn is God's sovereignty and justice. Habakkuk third chapter, first verse. Habakkuk shift from questioning to worship, from doubt to faith, from worry to worship. He reflects on God's past acts and pleads for God to remember mercy in judgment. How do we imply this in our life? Worship is a powerful response to uncertainty. When we focus on God's character and past faithfulness, we can find peace and reassurance in His sovereignty. So, the declaration of faith. Habakkuk 3rd chapter 17th verse says, Habakkuk concludes with a remarkable declaration of faith. Even if the fig tree does not blossom and there is no fruit on the vines, he will rejoice in the Lord. We imply in our life is truth faith means worshipping God. True faith means worshipping God, not only for what He does, but for who He is. Our circumstances do not dictate our joy, meaning our circumstances should not change us. Our relationship with God does. As a conclusion, Habakkuk's journey teaches us how to navigate the complexities of faith in challenging times. He models the importance of bringing our concerns to God, questions God, waiting on His response, living by faith, and ultimately choosing worship in the midst of uncertainty. As we face our own challenges, let us remember Habakkuk's words and trust that God is at work, even when we cannot see it. Let us declare with confidence, though the victory may not blossom, I will rejoice in the Lord.